Welcome back to
Yo,
Naruto Gaiden Maury edition.
Maury? I thought this was Jerry Seinfeld, whatever the hell.
Springer.
Point is that they need one of these guys. They're gonna have to talk to one of these guys after all this, or maybe even Dr. Phil too. Who knows? What
Now,
else?
Sasuke, you can't just leave your daughter like that and not even talk to her for the first 12 years of her life. You just can't do that.
And you must tell her the truth. Who is the baby mama?
In the case of 12-year-old Sakura, you are the mother.
Yeah, that's everyone. I know people are like, oh, just because they said in an interview that she's the mother doesn't mean that she's the biological mother. She's just the one who raised her. And I'm like, no, he's bad at writing female characters, and he's even worse at writing Sakura. But even he would not sink that low as to do that to her character. What makes for an more interesting story? It being 100% definite that Sakura's the mother, or a plot that heavily implies that she's not the mother, but in the end turns out so.
Yeah, the latter, obviously.
Because what's gonna get people talking about it more? The possibility of, oh my god, Sakura might not be the mother. She's not the mother. All this stuff's leading to not be the mother. Of course, as in respects of that, the whole thing about she couldn't find any records of her birth anywhere in the village.
Mm-hmm.
There's a perfect. I saw one of the YouTuber reviews that I watched, which they brought up a good point. What if whatever this mission that Sasuke's on requires him to some level of secrecy, and that he doesn't want anybody to know about his family back at the village. So obviously, you're not gonna, we haven't seen Sakura going around saying, "Hey, my name is Sakura Uchiha," and obviously he wants to complete this mission. He doesn't want his daughter anyone to know about his daughter, which could have something to do with the fact that we have this little boy with the friggin' onion hairstyle and and these Sharingans. So maybe that's why, they're having them keep all the records of her a secret, so that way he can try and complete this mission, and he's trying to complete this mission before people find out about her, which would be happening soon, since she was preparing to become a Guinean.
I would agree with that theory, if not for two facts. One, her name is listed as Sarada Uchiha, and two, she wears the friggin' crest on her back. So
no,
it's kind of obvious.
No, because this theory is based on the fact that he doesn't want anybody from outside of the village to know. We haven't never seen her. This is the first time since that we've seen her, that we as the readers have seen her leave the village. So
yeah,
it's
but how would the birth records that stay in Konoha affect?
I don't know. That's just the idea. I just because ninjas are always doing ninja stuff. Alright. So the idea is to keep her as secret as possible, and maybe they felt that was necessary. Maybe even though that friggin' Sakura's like, oh, that's not necessary, and Sasuke's like, no, that's necessary. And who wins it? And from this chapter, who do you think wins out in the eyes of the Hokage?
Oh my gosh, it's obviously Sasuke.
Yes, of course.
It's obviously Madara. I'm sorry.
He couldn't. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's like, really, he couldn't let it go. No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't let the Sasuke Naruto shipping people just go. He just had to put more into it by doing this. Like, really? Like, oh, my Sasuke's calling me. I gotta go.
Yeah, personally. The second he saw the letter, he's like, nope, going to see Sasuke. Fuck everything else.
Personally.
Yep.
and I'm just gonna leave. And he's like, oh, you can't leave. We got the graduation exams coming up. Oh, I'll just leave a shadow clone behind.
He doesn't even give his own son the same courtesy.
No, he gives his Sam the same courtesy. He gives him a shadow clone to work with.
He gives him a shadow clone. He's giving Sasuke the real deal.
Oh, and of course, God. It doesn't help that, he has an enabler as a advisor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got it. Just go.
Mm-hmm. It's freaking awful.
Yeah. But
yeah, Neo Madara has the moves.
Like Jagger?
Yes.
Chidori!
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty cool, because the Kusarigama latched onto his, or whatever, the Kusari, the chains that latched onto his sword. He's like, nope, Chidori.
Like, bitch, do you know who I am? Like, literally, that's, like, he should be thinking that. Like, there should be two thoughts. When he got attacked, there are two things that should have been going through his head. One, who is this that's attacking me? And two, bitch, do you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just, because it should be blatantly obvious since, both, even though, but then again, as we, it should be obvious what Sasuke's capable, everyone in the world should know what he's capable of. But then again, so for when it seems like Naruto is the only one who got praised for helping end the war.
Mm-hmm.
Not Sakura, not Sasuke, even though, not Kakashi, just freaking Naruto.
Of course, because he's the one that always gets glorified in the end.
Which is the exact opposite of how it was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why he wrote it that way, but it still is annoying. So Sasuke or Sakura and Kakashi's parts, yes, their parts weren't as important, but they definitely deserved some praise. But Sasuke was the most important. Like, they could have still done it without the other two, but they couldn't. Naruto couldn't have ended it without Sasuke.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Needless to say, it is. Now, on a more fun note, Chocho.
Oh God.
She was as annoying. Like the sassy girl we fell in love with in chapter 700 has fallen from grace. She was so annoying in this chapter.
I have to agree with you. I think her charm wore off really, really quickly.
Because they just took it in a new direction. Like, oh, now I'm gonna suddenly, I'm, like the whole thing, yeah, because the sass was fine in a small dose that we got in chapter 700, but then this whole Naruto Gaiden thing started, we got to see, and it's just like, oh, it's a reoccurring gag thing with her, and how it causes her to have problems with her parents because of it. I'm like, really? And now she takes it a step further and is like, oh, there's no way these are my parents.
Right.
Like, really?
Yeah, that got annoying, and so I hope that's not all she's good for at this point. So.
Well, we don't even know because since because he's put so much into this. Like these first two chapters alone have set up so much plot. It's like how is he going to get all this resolved in just the miniseries and a movie?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really?
I have no idea.
He literally put enough information and enough setup to do an entire Naruto Part 3.
Right.
Full blown, not just a friggin' miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, of course, are hoping that, if they put enough support on this Part 3 miniseries, that they might change their minds and have them continue it.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about it right now, at least.
I'm not saying we do. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying is that there are people out there who want that, like, because they don't want Naruto to end.
No, I hear you.
Because they're like, oh, because they don't want. Of course, we also don't want him pulling a Akira Toriyama and doing movies every a couple of years for like 20 years, and they're like, I think it's been long enough. I think I'm gonna do a new series of a new anime, a new series in the same manga, new edition, like, which for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about Dragon Ball Super, but that's a whole nother conversation for the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, to continue. So back to the more interesting thing. Basically the whole thing that's interesting about this so far is whether or not, the whole Uchiha. As usual, Uchiha greatness has once again stolen the show. Both with Sarada, with with Madara, Sasuke, and with the the two newcomers. So so once again pushing the Uchiha because apparently he felt that they didn't have enough push in the series. Oh, the Uchiha clan didn't get much spotlight. I'm gonna give him some more.
Yeah, it's like this whole miniseries is like making fun of certain fan bases. They're making fun of the shipping fan base, and now they're making fun of Itachi fanboys. Thanks.
Oh, that is, ooh. Especially with some of the things that happened as a result of that. Ooh, that's just major burn.
Yeah, thanks, Kishi. You're making fun of people who are fans of the best character. Just saying. Nah.
Well, no, it's not just that. I mean,
Itachi fanboys are too much. So.
Especially with what some of them did.
Oh yeah, there was somebody that killed himself, right?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna say that, but.
Well, a lot of people know, but.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, really, you're gonna do something like that? Like make fun of people like that? Like really?
Yeah, somebody did that with Gaara too, but. That was a long time ago. That was part one. That was like during part 1 days.
What? Gaara didn't die in part 1.
Oh no, he basically emulated Gaara's sand thing and buried somebody alive in sand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's SpongeBob all over again.
I guess.
No, because somebody actually. When SpongeBob first came out, there was actually stories of kids drowning because they tried looking for SpongeBob in the ocean.
Seriously? That I did not hear about.
That was because it was so long ago.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know if there's too much else to talk about with the chapter.
Yeah.
We know Sarada is obviously gonna follow Naruto as long as she can.
We all know what's gonna happen. There's either one or two things are gonna happen. One, Naruto is gonna just knows that they're there the whole time and is just gonna let them come along.
Which is what I hope happens.
Or two, he's not gonna notice them at all because he's too focused on his lover Sasuke. Which I hope isn't the. Neither, like. I don't know. Honestly, like, I would prefer. Like, they're both not that good. But at least I'd rather the Naruto be like, I knew you were there the whole time. I just wanted you to come along for whatever reason.
I would prefer that just because. I mean, it's. He's like, alright, she deserves to see her dad. You know?
Who knows? I mean, you would think that Naruto would be like, not only easily notice them, but would immediately send them back to the village. But who knows? But it wouldn't. That's not what's going to happen because then there wouldn't be, the plot wouldn't advance because right now the plot seems to be focused on the Uchiha, and as we all know, unless all the Uchiha are involved in the plot can't move forward. So they need to gather all the Uchiha in one spot.
Yep.
So, and I'm just calling it right now. I'm telling whoever this masked figure, or sorry, hooded figure is going to have be someone. A lot of people are saying that oh, the reason why we don't see the face is because it's a character we already seen before. I don't think that, mainly because it's like, well, who in the world, first of all, could be do this and produce someone with a Sharingan and would be dumb enough to try and take on Sasuke.
Yeah.
Thereby extent and then by extension challenging Naruto, because you knew Naruto was going to run to his side.
Yeah, and not to mention there's the whole thing he or she is wearing an Akatsuki cloak under that robe. So is it a former Akatsuki member? Because the only one that I know of that's alive is Conan. But oh wait, no, she's dead. That's right.
No, was there any white Zetsu still alive?
That we know of? Not necessarily, no.
Oh well, there is one Akatsuki member that's still alive that could have somehow.
Besides Orochimaru.
No, there's still one Akatsuki member that's still alive that depending on, you could have, is still alive, depending on if someone decided to free him or not.
Oh, you're talking about Hidan?
Yeah, he's still alive. It could be him. I
don't know if he's alive or dead, because I think the whole immortality thing might have needed like a certain like amount of ritualistic stuff. Like, so if he didn't do his ritual, maybe he would lose it eventually. I don't know.
We don't know. All we know, most likely whatever was done to him had nothing to do with all the friggin' prayers and shit. That was just some cult thing that was added on afterwards. I don't think it's necessary. See, because if that was the case, then really all they would have to do is friggin', I don't know. It's just there wasn't enough information about him to really know that for a fact. But it's in fear. It's just by the fact the way that fight ended. And the fact that, oh, these deer are going to watch over you for all eternity makes me believe that, he is going to be alive and there for all eternity. Because why would he, he would have said something, like mentioned, like, oh, because that would have been oh, if that was a weakness, like, oh, I got to do, and, all right, what if he does have to do something ritualistic, maybe he just has to pray. And for all you know, the prayer can just be chanting some words. And last time I checked, he still had a mouth that worked. So he could, as long as he kept chanting the words, he could stay alive, technically, if that's the case. If he needs to, we don't know.
Yeah, if he could talk under all that dirt.
He can still talk. Well, remember, he's immortal, so he doesn't need to, technically he doesn't need to breathe, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. We could go off on a whole tangent about him. But as for the identity of this person, it's believed that this person is wearing an Akatsuki cloak. So this person had to have, in theory, should have been connected to the Akatsuki at some point. First of all. Second of all, they have to be confident enough that they can handle the two gods of the verse, and they have to have a pretty big pair to challenge the gods, provoke the gods of the verse.
Right.
That's pretty much what Naruto and Sasuke are at this point. They're gods.
For all intents and purposes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, technically they still are nothing compared to, friggin' Kaguya, but that's a whole other story. So, it's just... So, whoever this person is, if they are actually that confident, whatever they're going to do, since this is supposed to be the story of the new generation, I feel that this person and hooded person will probably be, in the encounter, will take on, Sasuke and Naruto, leaving the little boy to Sarada and Chocho, which could be us finally seeing Sarada unlock her Sharingan.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because then at least then we can then 100% say, oh yeah, you're an Uchiha. Because everyone's like, like, I mean, there's no doubt that she's an Uchiha. There was no reason for it, but it's just that the whole fact that she wears glasses and she's an Uchiha, like, it's like, really?
Right.
But then that brings the question. If an Uchiha needs glasses and they unlock their Sharingan, will they then no longer need glasses?
Most likely.
We don't know, because that's never happened before, where an Uchiha needed glasses.
I would say most likely.
I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, no. Because remember, in the trailer for the movie, it looks like they're at the tuning exams and she's still wearing her glasses.
Right.
So maybe she doesn't need to wear the glasses when she has her Sharingan activated, but...
Yeah.
For sure, but she probably still needs them regularly, like... Kind of like how, people who only need to wear glasses for reading don't have to wear glasses all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens next, because Sasuke, and did I forget to mention Sasuke?
Mm-hmm. I think you forgot about Madara though.
Oh yeah, it's Madara. He's gonna come. He's gonna join in too.
Well, he's already there. It's not Sasuke. It's Madara. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. It's.
I mean,
So does that mean...
we know it can't be Sasuke's kid, because Sasuke just doesn't reproduce. Madara, on the other hand, is batshit enough to do so with Sakura.
So. Well, remember, it's November. Sarada's mom isn't Sakura. It's Kari.
Ah, yeah, true. Well, he knows about the Uzumaki too. He wanted some with Mito, but Hashirama stole her. So he's like, all right, I'll just take a young buck from this gen.
What, fourth gen or fifth gen? Or is it third gen?
I don't know, but regardless,
actually,
this chapter was okay.
Yeah. Enough of the Pokemon jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was good. And it would have been better if it wasn't for Chocho.
Yeah.